What's going on, y'all? My name's Joltage, and today I'm bringing you another LC game from SPL, this time in week 3 between Zorodark and Madoka. Zorodark coming into this week at 1-1, Madoka at 2-0. I know I haven't done the first match of the week. It already happened. It was between Haseop and ZF. I will get to that as soon as I can. I've been pretty busy with school starting back up again. And in fact, I am recording this from a study room in my library, so I'm sorry if I'm not incredibly loud. The rooms are not exactly soundproof. Anyway, first turn we've got a lead. Fungus versus the Snubble. Obviously, Fungus threatens out Snubble with the Sludge Bomb, and Madoka's going to go out to Pharaoh Seed. Zorodark's going to predict that nicely and go into the Mienfu, who is probably going to fire off a U-turn here, seeing as Madoka has the very safe switch in the Snubble. Alternatively, she can make that she can make the hard read and go right for the rocks, as nothing else really wants to come in on Pharaoh Seed on Zorodark's team. And that makes me think Fungus might be HP Fire, but I'm not sure. But we shall see what they decide to go for. I think the rocks play wouldn't actually be too bad here, seeing as Pharaoh Seed lives any standard Mienfu's shit. But she is just going to go out to the Snubble on the U-turn, looking to be Eviolite Snubble actually, or it just took that particularly well for whatever reason. But out comes Fungus once again, and I expect to see another little dance that we saw on turns 1 and 2 play out. Maybe Zorodark actually goes for the HP Fire, maybe it's HP Fight, but we shall see. No, again, makes the double. Let's see if Madoka wants to go for the rocks play this turn, but because right now we're not really getting anywhere outside of literally 1 damage on Snubble. But the regen core proving to be a nuisance. But this time Madoka's actual Mienfu comes out, eats a high jump kick, takes it kinda well, but obviously probably doesn't want to stay in here. Goes for the fake out. Interesting, fake out food is actually seeing a decent amount of usage this SPL, likely to counter Sun and just be interesting. Mienfu's 4th move has always been kinda up to you anyway. It's kind of filler. It can often be a very useful move, but what it is really doesn't dictate the set. Out comes the Snubble on Madoka's side. I was expecting, and out comes the U-turn on Zorodark's, which it makes it confirmed not scarfed, though I was unlikely to be scarfed anyway. Zorodark's team's actually quite fast in the bottom half. This time Fungus goes for the Sludge Bomb, predicting the Snubble. Madoka perhaps make a ballsy play, but she does go Pharaoh Seed, and finally she's going to be able to get up her rocks. Or smooth Thunder Wave if she's really feeling spicy. Out comes Mienfu, and there goes the rocks. So Madoka will start to be able to wear down this regen core who keeps coming in on her. But out comes the Mienfu on the knockoff, and it's going to lose its Eviolite, so it's definitely not a Scarf variant as well. Whether or not it's slow Fu remains to be seen. I think most non-Scarf Fus are slow Fu, but I could be wrong. Anyway, out comes Snubble on the U-turn. This Mienfu is just doing the chip damage. Out comes the Kabuto now, probably going to try and spin away the rocks, though Madoka can always go out to her Pharaoh Seed and deal with that, as Kabuto likely does not have anything for Pharaoh Seed. It doesn't really get anything either. But out does come Pharaoh Seed, and Zorodark instead decides to just set up his own rocks. We might see some spikes come out of this Pharaoh Seed, but I would prefer to see a Thunder Wave come out here, as there's no way anything but Mienfu will switch in, and Kabuto's not doing anything to you anyway, so Thunder Wave's a really safe play on Madoka's part. As far as Zorodark goes, he just decides to go for the rapid spin, takes Iron Barb's damage, and the spike does come out. Okay, so we know 2 of Pharaoh Seed's moves, the dual hazards. Whether it's Thunder Wave, it's now slightly less likely, but it's still always a possibility. Anyway, out comes Mienfu. Madoka really wants to have these hazards up, as Kabuto is not the most reliable spinner, and her hazard layer 100% beats Kabuto in the 1v1. But out comes Snubble once again. It's been only really eating U-turns, of which have done literally 1 damage to it the entire time, so it's not too worn down. But out comes the Diglett. Groundium Z still doesn't take out the Snubble. This is a stupid bulky Snubble, like holy. Damn, that did a lot, but Playrough is going to be able to take out the Snubble, which is unfortunate for Zorodark. Diglett wasn't like insanely useful this game for him, but it could have definitely helped him out in potentially trapping a Mienfu, a weakened Mienfu, and just the whole outspeeding Ghastly is nice. Anyway, out comes Kabuto, is probably going to just go for the rapid spin kill, and Madoka should just go Pharaoh Seed here, in my opinion. There's nothing Zorodark can really do to prevent that from happening, and he really does want to get rid of these hazards this turn. But yeah, Snubble does barely survive that Tectonic Rage, but now is significantly weak. Has significantly weakened her team, thanks, because as you know, Snubble can't really check Mienfu anymore. Kabuto decided to go for the waterfall there, and that actually did like a lot more than I was expecting, at least. But Mienfu comes back in, this time on the Bullet Seed, not taking that really well, and a 4 hit is also not great. Zorodark just expecting the Snubble sack, at which he does get, is going to go out to his Fungus, likely to just reset the regen on his Mienfu, who took way more damage than he would have liked on that turn. Also, going for the high jump kick obviously wouldn't have worked out, seeing as the Snubble came in and died to rocks. Madoka here can probably go Ghastly. Fungus doesn't really threaten Ghastly that much, especially if it's a sub-variant, which I find most of them are. Alternatively, she can go right back out to Pharaoh Seed and lay more hazards. It's unclear what Fungus's 4th move is, whether it be HP Fire or HP Fight. Could also be something a lot less common, like Stun Spore or perhaps Clear Smog, but those are, like I said, less likely to be the case. Madoka is going to go Pharaoh Seed here, probably just decide to set up more hazards. Zorodark's going to go for the Giga Drain, interestingly, as Pharaoh Seed is going to predict the Kabuto to come in, I guess, or just try to get general damage. Go for the Bullet Seed. Neither of these mons are really doing anything to each other here. Zorodark obviously doesn't want to eat a Thunder Wave, though I doubt, I don't want to say doubt, because for me the last move of Pharaoh Seed, seeing as we know 3 of its 4 moves, the last move is either Thunder Wave or Knockoff, and I'm leaning towards Knockoff. But Zorodark's going to go for the Giga Drain again, so maybe this Fungus is not a HP Fight or HP Fire variant. Maybe he is and is just trying to wear down Madoka and make her believe that he does not have that, so he can get the clean KO out of surprise, which would be a really long con. He'd be playing the long con really hard if that was the case. One more Giga Drain, as Madoka just decides finally to set up some spikes, not thinking Zorodark's going to go into Kabuto. Kabuto can be spun blocked by Ghastly, especially if it hasn't eaten a hit prior, seeing as Kabuto's not faster than it and can probably be killed by Ghastly. In the meantime, though Ghastly, not really the sturdiest of spin blockers, I think it can do its job well enough in this game, and these hazards are really going to start to affect Zorodark's team's longevity and survivability. This turn's taken quite a bit longer. I think Zorodark maybe Zorodark's calcing to see if the HP fire is going to do enough to take out the Pharaoh Seed this turn. Going back to that waterfall did a lot to the Pharaoh Seed. So this Pharaoh Seed might be a berry juice variant. I've seen those quite often, relatively often this SPL. But no, Zorodark is going to go out to his Doduo, is going to take a Bullet Seed, and is already down to half, and Doduo already has issues with killing itself. So that is less than good. I wonder if this is a Scarfed Berry Juice or Life Orb variant. I'm leaning towards Berry Juice. I'm leaning towards Berry Juice on this team, just so Doduo doesn't kill itself as much. But I do expect the Brave Bird to come out this turn. It probably takes out Pharaoh Seed, seeing how it took that waterfall earlier. And nope. Oh yeah, I forgot I got Jump Kick. But Jump Kick is going to take out the Pharaoh Seed, no questions asked. And Doduo with the Iron Barbs is going to pop its Berry Juice and be all the way back up to full. Zorodark was just making sure. Zorodark was going for the Giga Drains to just lower Pharaoh Seed's health enough to where Doduo could just go for that, which obviously worked out for him this time. Madoka has one thing faster than this Doduo in the Diglett, who can, I'm not sure would take it out with Rock Slide. It might. Doduo's not incredibly sturdy Pokemon. Otherwise, she can go up to Corphish, though Corphish still does have to contend with Fungus, though Fungus is going to be taking quite a bit from the hazards on the switch in. It's at what, like 96% probably on the switch in before hazards damage. Madoka is going to go to the Diglett, probably fire off a Rock Slide here. The Earthquake's less than likely. I wonder if how healthy is Kabuto. I don't think Kabuto's very healthy. Otherwise, I would like to see. Kabuto's at 53% before the hazards. So with the hazards, it's at what, like 24%. Rock Slide will definitely take out Kabuto from there. So he couldn't go to Kabuto to get the. So I don't think Zorodark can go to Kabuto to get the weak armor boost and then spin next turn. Instead, Doduo was just going to go for the quick attack, as Diglett's going to sub, interestingly. Doduo was going to go for the quick attack once more, and Madoka's going to reveal the Sludge Bomb Diglett. Interesting. I don't really feel like that should be as necessary these days, seeing as Cottonee has drastically fallen in usage with the new gen. But Doduo is going to be able to take out the Diglett there. Obviously, Diglett must not have had Rock Slide, because I think Rock Slide was probably 100% the best play there. Also, we don't know Diglett's item, probably, potentially Sash, potentially Z-Move. In comes Corphish, who is going to be able to go for the Aqua Jet. I wonder if this, actually, I hope Diglett wasn't Z-Move, because I hope this Corphish is Supersonic Sky Strike, because that would be pretty cool. Zorodark has no reason not to go for a quick attack here. I thought he had no reason not to go for a quick attack there. There was no way the Corphish, for my money, there was no way the Corphish was SDing or anything there. But he opts instead to just fall victim to the Aqua Jet, brings out Fungus, and is going to spore the incoming Mienfoo. Madoka's matchup against Fungus is not very great, though with this lead fodder, she can probably go up to Ghastly fairly confidently. Unfortunately, Ghastly is outsped by Elekid, who will likely be carrying the Psychic, and I think Elekid can potentially clean this game. I don't really see any reason Elekid can't clean this game if it is the standard Life Orb special set. Psychic for Ghastly, Psychic for Mienfu, and Thunderbolt for the Corphish. Out comes Elekid on the guaranteed sleep turn, and Mienfu is going to go to sleep. This is a knocked off Mienfu, so I believe this Life Orb Psychic kills. I would be very surprised if this doesn't. I'd be very surprised if this doesn't live. There's no, so I'd be very surprised if Mienfu lives this. And I do expect Zorodark to just clean here with the Elekid, whichever. Psychic does crit, but I don't, like I said, I don't think that mattered. It might have. I doubt that mattered, though. It was knocked off, and Elekid is pretty strong. Though Elekid is not Life Orb, so maybe it did. Maybe it did. I'd still be surprised if it did, but it may have. Elekid not being Life Orb is genuinely surprising, though. Might be Eviolite Elekid to help his bird matchup slightly. Though he does have a Kabuto. Kabuto is susceptible to be worn down. Other than that, I can't really think of anything else it might be. I would lose my shit if it was Scarfed or anything. Potentially Berry Juice, I guess. I don't think that's a set people tend to run. Out comes Corphish, maybe banking on the fact that it's a Scarf Elekid. Either way, I expect it to go for the Aqua Jet this turn. Though if it is Scarf Elekid and she goes for the SD, that would be, and is also Z, that flying MZ, and hits Fungus with the Supersonic Strikes. I would literally lose my shit. It seems unlikely, though, for that to happen. Expect Elekid to just go for the Thunderbolt and close out this game next turn by taking out Ghastly with the Psychic. We shall see what goes down. Just realized timer's not on, or if it is, it hasn't said anything. This game, I don't think it's on, actually. Yeah, no timer. Interestingly enough. So, I mean, we could be here for a while, but I don't expect the game to just suddenly stall here. But, yeah, I don't really see another option. If it is Eviolite Elekid or even Berry Juice Elekid, I don't think it dies to a Corpfish's Aqua Jet unless it's maybe a banned Corpfish, which is a set, though not very common. So, would very much expect the. I would very much just expect Elekid to live here. If it is a Scarfed Elekid, well, that just seems bad. You're already 20 speed. What the fuck do you need to be outspeeding? But I don't really know what's taking a long time. And without the timer, I can't tell who is taking a long time. But Zorodark's play, I believe, is 100% just Thunderbolt or Volt Switch if you don't have Thunderbolt, and then which will take out Corphish. I'm pretty sure it'll take out Corphish. As Corphish lives, I would be beyond surprised. And I think Madoka's play is Aqua Jet doesn't kill, so I think Madoka's play is honestly just 2 SD. Because SD and being that very specific set, I believe, is the only chance she has of winning. Or it could be Scarf Ghastly. Scarf Ghastly might be able to clean, but Fungus is way too healthy for that. Yeah, Fungus is way too healthy for that. Comes in at full before Hazards. Obviously will be knocked back down to we knocked down to 72, 70 something, 76% or something after Hazards when it comes back in. But I don't like I said, I really don't know what's taking so long in this play. think it's pretty interesting that Zorodark brought yet another Kabuto, who has been seeing a lot of usage as SPL. By a lot, I mean it hasn't been like an insane amount, I guess, but like way more than you would expect Kabuto to be seen in a competitive environment, especially after like last gen when it really didn't do much. I guess that just goes to show you how insane the weak armor buff was between the generations. Finally, timer is on, so hopefully something happens soon, because I'm kind of running out of things to talk about, I guess. I guess I could talk about the Hace-Up ZF game while we're waiting, because I mean that one was cool. Krogunk ended up sweeping. If you haven't seen that already, I haven't done the video for it, so I'll be bringing you that maybe after I record this. I'm waiting for traffic to die down before I can go home anyway, so it could be an option. But that was an interesting game, I think. Yeah, I do like seeing a Krogunk sweep, because Krogunk is one of my favorite mons to use in the tier, so that's pretty cool. Madoka has been the one that's taking all the time. I don't really think it's that hard for her. I mean, it might be. She's probably going through every single possible outcome, but I don't really see any way of winning the game without SDing here. I don't think it would make sense to go Ghastly, because I mean you just would have brought Corphish in for literally no reason. And if Elekid is not scarfed, you lose anyway. So, oh, looks like Elekid is scarfed. I really hoped Madoka SD'd. No, she didn't. It might be like banned. Oh man, I don't know what the Corphish set is, but oh wait, no. If it's SD, it would have to give up either knockoff, or if it's it can't be like SD Flying MZ, because it would have to give up either knockoff or Crab Hammer for the aerial ace. Could be 4 attacks, but if it's not SD, I don't think it can win for. But yeah, I think this has to be Scarfed Elekid then, because otherwise that play makes no sense from Zorodark, and I don't think he's that bad a player to do that. Though Doka did also just switch out there. Ghastly's not even berry juice, so yeah. That was a weird play. Also, it's really weird that Zorodark brought fucking Scarfed Elekid. I don't know why, but goes for the Volt Switch. Doesn't take out the Ghastly. As long as he keeps his Fungus, he'll be fine, though. As long as he keeps his Fungus, he'll be fine. Oh, there's the Thunderbolt, and yeah. Obviously, Corphish can go, well, technically, if I see a damn Supersonic Sky Strike, after this Aqua Jet, I'm not gonna laugh, but I'm gonna be really disappointed in Zorodark for bringing fucking Scarf Elekid and having it loose in the game. Yep, out comes the Aqua Jet. I swear to God. We're about to see the fucking Supersonic Sky Strike win the game. Nope, okay. Wait, why was Spore the play? what I don't understand the spore play, but I mean it worked out for him in the end. Scarf Alakid nearly cost him the game, but luckily for him, Madoka wasn't Supersonic Sky Strike. But that's gonna be the game. Zorodark's gonna prove to 2-1, and Madoka's gonna fall to 2-1. Bit of a weird game, but I think a good game all the same. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed, please feel free to leave a like, comment, and comment with your feedback, and stay subscribed for more competitive LC content, including every single LC SPL game this season. Yeah, until next time, my name is Joltage, and I'll see you later. Hopefully the audio wasn't too quiet for y'all this time as well, but yeah, let me know if it was. I'm sorry if it was. Anyway, bye.